back of that car. There. Right here.
Miles 28, 507.3. Yeah. In the area, yeah, we'll respond to the 459 progress. Looking for the suspect. Well, Sam, hello, background back here. Did I copy?
I was working on my fence and I heard yelling and screaming, and then I think he kicked the door. I thought you could see the door, it's a mess. And then he disappeared and the police showed up. And then here again around 2:30 or 3, my wife heard pop, 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 and I don't know what that was. But on the news, they were saying it was a gun. So he was held up in the house with a gun, and then the fire started. We had 3 fire trucks. And, you know, I just hope that he can get help. He needs help. They'd show up, people would show up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know what they were doing here. But,
people here.
it's a quiet neighborhood.
Well, it seems like. I was just going to ask you
Real
a sense
quiet.
of the neighborhood. It's just quiet off the
We're a lot of
track.
retirees here, and they've got some new, younger families moving in. You know, it's a really good place to live. Poway's really safe. I hope they keep it that way.
Oh yeah, Poway's a great town.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the fire? Could you see the flames?
Oh yeah. It really got big in the back. That's where he brought him out from the back in handcuffs. I don't know. It's sad because I tried to talk to him a few times, but you know, if you lead the wrong life, you go the other way. He needs help though. That's it there.
Do you want to give your name?
Gaylen Henricks.
And could you spell first and last?
Yeah, Gaylen and Henricks, Henricks.
How long have you lived up here?
I've lived here for about 16 years now. I used to live up the street.
Okay, so you know the neighborhood pretty well.
Oh, I love my neighbors. We're all good there. You know, there's no crimes here hardly, except for this. But this was a family problem. It wasn't something real bad. You know, somebody trying to grow up, and it's hard.
Sometimes it takes.
Sergeant Bo Roberson. That's Roberson, and Bo is just BO.
Got it. And Sergeant, maybe you could tell us what happened here today.
Yes, so earlier today, earlier this morning, we were actually here on an earlier criminal investigation involving a 31-year-old male subject. Those charges are still under investigation, but during that time period, he had left the residence before our arrival. At about 3:30 p.m., we received information that the subject from that investigation had returned home, and he was here with his mother, and he was possibly armed. Upon arrival, deputies came here to set up a perimeter. The mother was safely escorted from the house without any kind of injuries. There was nobody else inside of the house. Deputies attempted to make contact with that subject via the loudspeaker, but he refused to come out. While deputies were outside, shots were fired inside of the house. They were coming from inside from an unknown weapon. That's still yet to be determined. Shortly after the shots were heard from inside the house, smoke and flames were seen from the back of the residence. The subject could still be heard from inside the house yelling and screaming. At about 4:15 hours, the subject came out of the back door of the residence and then was taken into custody by deputies without any incident.
The fire was contained to inside the home. It wasn't actually outside the home, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and you came here. What was the nature of your business here at 10:30? We understand that this is a convicted felon.
That information I don't have at this time, but he was subject to a criminal investigation earlier. Some felony charges are still pending on him.
Okay. Did you say you didn't find a gun yet?
Not yet, no, sir.
Okay. You've been here before?
This morning we were.
I mean, besides that?
That, I've never been here personally, no.
All right, tell us what it looks like inside.
I have not been inside yet, actually. So I imagine that there is some debris from the fire, but I have not been inside since we have been here earlier.
I can't remember. Did you say you found the weapon?
No, we have not found the weapon.
All right. What do we know about the weapon? You were showing his mother some pictures over there.
I was not showing his mother pictures, but he, from what we understand, there was a weapon involved. We just have yet to determine what that is, and we're actually on our way to try to go inside and find that weapon.
What was a real danger here for neighbors? Because you blocked off the whole street.
Yeah, obviously the real danger was the fire, of course, the possibility of exchanging gunfire. So obviously the residents are our primary concern. We want to get people evacuated. Luckily, at this time of day, a lot of people aren't home. So that was a relatively easy job on our part to get people out of the area.
Can you tell us what the call this morning was about?
The call this morning was a family disturbance.
This is Jay Dubois' home. We know she's a 911 dispatcher, and I know she loves her son and has been trying to help him as best she can. Can you help us understand the difference it makes that she's a 911 operator?
Well, I can't confirm obviously the resident's name just because that criminal investigation is still underway. But obviously anybody inside the house, any residents, whether they're members of the department or not, we want to make sure we provide them with the utmost care and concern that the Sheriff's Department can provide them with.
Was it the mother that you escorted from the home that called 911?
Yes, that's correct.
And can you also talk about, there was a dog in one of the bedrooms, and then you guys actually reunited the...
Yes, so while we were here, we learned that there was a small dog inside the residence. We're not sure where it was at that time, but the firefighters thankfully rescued that animal and provided that animal back to the owner.
Could you talk a little bit about the suspect himself? I know you're not identifying him, but what was his state of mind, and where is he now?
Right now, he is at the Poway Sheriff Station pending criminal charges. All I can say right now is he's a 31-year-old white male adult, and that's it.
Anything you can tell me about the nature of his demeanor this morning when he was confronted?
This morning, he was not here. He had fled the area.
I beg your pardon. 3:30. Yes, at 3:30.
When we contacted him in the backyard, he had surrendered without any incident.
Didn't have anything to say, or
no.
Had you arrested him before?
I personally have not.
No, but I mean the SO's Sheriff's Office said they arrested him before.
I'm not sure of that information.
What's going on in the house right now?
Right now we have bomb arson investigators conducting their portion of the investigation. Obviously, due to the fact that the fire started inside the house, we're trying to determine whether or not an arson had occurred.
They do the arson investigation for SO, the bomb squad.
Correct.
Does too, right? Okay. And so, do we know what the accelerant was, or how? We understand there were a number of fires set. Is that true?
That I can't confirm. I'm not sure, but like I said, they're conducting their investigation to determine what started the fire. At this time, I do not know.
Do you know what the point was of the disturbance at all? What it was that set him off?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You may have answered this before. Does the suspect have any prior arrest records at all? Has he been convicted of a crime beforehand? Has he been arrested beforehand?
That I can't confirm right now.
We understand from through talking with other people that he was convicted of a felony. Can you help us understand how he got the gun, or where the gun came from, or whose gun it was?
Well, we're not, like I said, we still haven't confirmed that it is an actual firearm. Shots were fired from inside the house from some type of weapon. We just have yet to determine what it was.
It wasn't his mother's gun, was it?
Not that I know of, no.
So just so I can understand this and clarify this, so bullets were somehow fired, but it may not have necessarily been from a gun. It could have.
That's correct. So we heard what sounded like shots coming from inside of the residence. I mean, it was loud enough for me to hear from outside of the house, but at this time we can't confirm whether or not it was an actual firearm.